What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another session YouTube video, another tutorial. Today we're breaking down the replay editor I've made. I literally got yelled at because I didn't make this video. Here we are. I'm going to be breaking down everything in the replay editor. I'm going to be breaking down how to do long lens, fisheye, how to get multiple camera angles in the same clip, and I think a few other tricks that I can show you guys. So let's just get right into it. Okay, I think that's our clip right there. So the first thing you want to actually do is open the replay editor. You can press the back button on Xbox or press in the touchpad on PlayStation. And once you got the replay editor open, your best friend in the replay editor is going to be your R1/right bumper. This button is your shift control, and you use this to place keyframes and move between keyframes and such. So first, let's bracket off our clip. So we can come to the end of the clip here. I'm scrubbing through using my left and right triggers. You can scrub through the end of the clip here, and if I hold R1 and I click in my right stick, it will make my set end clip. You can see at the bottom there it says set end clip. I can go back to the beginning of my clip. Now once I'm back at the start of my clip, I can hold R1 again and click in the left stick, and that's going to set clip start. Once you got that started, while holding R1 again, press triangle or Y on your controller, and that's going to do a clip zoom. It's going to zoom into your clip timeline so you have your work area to work with. So now the entire timeline is just the clip and nothing else. So you can actually move forward and back on your timeline by holding R1 and pressing left and right on your D-pad. So first thing you want to do is also we want to switch our camera. You can see here in the bottom right, you got a few different camera modes. We have orbit camera, you press square or X. We have free camera, tripod camera, game camera, and filmer camera. We're going to use free camera for the sake of this. Or you press start, it'll open up the replay editor menu. Here you can save and load replays. You can auto show UI. They have editor notifications on or off, which means when the UI is hitting, you'll get notifications on which actions you've taken. We have full camera control settings here. We can turn on different kinds of camera filters. There's a ton of different camera filters that you can use for this. I like Sat Boost. That's what I like. They call this camera model, but this is a VX1000. So you turn this on and it gives you what I think is a very exaggerated VX effect. We do have different lenses. We have fisheye wide, normal fisheye, which is just fisheye 4x3, and then we have 4x3 without the fisheye. So you have a lot of freedom to do and make everything look how you want it to look. Let's start with fisheye. So I'm gonna turn my fisheye on. I like fisheye wide. I'm gonna start like right here. The replay editor is insane, guys. You can cycle through your camera keyframes. So we have the normal camera keyframe. You can see here in the bottom left, normal camera keyframe, depth of field, field of view, a camera lens, which adds like sepia, black and white, a blue filter, or a green filter. You can mess with the play rate. This is essentially how you get slow-mo. Camera shake, so this is built-in camera shake. You have full control over the time of day with keyframes in-game. So to place a keyframe, you're gonna hold R1 and press down on the keypad. You can just move your timeline, just keep scrubbing with the triggers. If you want to delete a keyframe, hold R1 again and press up. That will delete a keyframe. If you accidentally do something you didn't mean to do, you can hold R1 and press circle, and that will undo. If you want to redo it, press square. So this is where I want to stop my clip. I'm just going to hold R1 and click in my right stick again to get that end bracket. Now if I hold R1 and I use my left and right D-pads, I can literally go through each key, press L1 to go into montage view, and now you can actually see what changes you have made. So I know a lot of people like to have camera tilt. All you have to do is just hold R1 and you can use your triggers to tilt left and right. We can add some camera shake. You can choose these steps by using L1 and R1. So I'm gonna put it to 20 camera shake. Shout out to Monkhead, and he's the one that recommends this. He's the dev of the game, one of the original creators of Petrus. So now you can see the camera shaking a little bit when we film. It just adds a little bit extra. And now that we have camera shake, we can go ahead and mess with some slow motion. Come to your play rate keyframe timeline. So this is when the flip is initiated. I'm gonna place a keyframe here, and then I'm gonna go to when she catches, which is right there. This is mid flip, and I'm gonna turn this down to 0.25. Now we can see it. So now we have camera shake, we have slow-mo, we have fisheye, we have all these things. So let's see how our clip actually looks. If you want to save the clip, you can go ahead, press start on the replay editor, save, and name it something. And then it saves. Even takes a camera, even takes a picture of you. Now let's go back into these settings real quick because I wanted to show you guys the camera path display mode. And what this does is it shows you your keyframes in real time, in game, while you're making them. You can see the camera motions of the keyframes, and this will help you get your camera together, like how real you want to have it. Like right here, I could have adjusted this because the camera is way too close to her foot, so it lets you see how your camera is moving in real time. It's pretty sick. It's very, very, very useful. We're gonna find a long lens angle, so I'm gonna get a rough cut of my camera keys. They're going to change. All right, that's set up. These are my keys. I want to completely just remove the camera shake. We don't want the camera shake. So now we want to come over to our FOV keyframe, our field of view, and we want to crank this down quite a bit. So I'm going to start it off at 10, and I'm going to bring my camera key right here. So there she is, right there again. There's the feet, and we're going to fix this blur. I'm just trying to get everything centered right now. Okay, now that that's fixed, we can switch over to our DOF key. This is our depth of field. This is going to give us background blur and foreground blur. So if I turn this up, you can see things are starting to come into focus. So the way depth of field works is the more you zoomed in with FOV, the higher your field of view has to go. The closer you are to the object, the lower it has to go. So as it gets closer, as my feet and my skater get closer, I have to turn down my DOF. You can see how she's blurry. If I come over here to my DOF and I crank this, she starts to come into focus. And now it's getting out of focus again. So I'm gonna come over here, place another field of view key. And now I could put her back in focus, but the thing is, I kind of want to zoom in. So let's get like a 10 right here. We could turn this down. Let's go to like, we could go all the way down to 3 here. And you can see the background's becoming more visible while the foreground is still pretty blurry. And that's pretty much exactly what you want. We'll turn this up some more. You know, just you're pretty much just making sure you're keeping your skater in focus. And I think this is it. I think this is our long lens clip. All right, that's our long lens clip. So there is another way that you can do long lens in this game. I mainly want to do this in montage view though. So let's set one depth of field key at default 1000, and then let's crank our FOV down a lot. I'm gonna do it to 10. We're gonna just crank it to 10. We're gonna just zoom in on my skater's feet. And that's it. It's just gonna autofocus itself. Yeah, the closer you get, yeah, it's just gonna autofocus. So zoom out. But yeah, just keep following the skater. All right, we're gonna go right here. And then we're going to just increase this a little by 15. 15 should be good. And then let's just keep keying. And then I'm gonna bracket it off right here and stop it right here. Trim your clip while you're already in it. You can hold R1, use the right stick to move forward and back, and that will give you more clip to work with. And if you hold R1 and press L1, you can toggle through the different types of keys you can use. So we have smooth keys, which is what I'm using. They're identified by green. So you always want to use smooth keys for your camera timeline. You can use linear keys for depth of field, and it will help keep it consistent. You can use linear keys for field of view as well, and it will help it. But you always want to have smooth keys as your camera. And for example here, if I hold this and I switch from smooth keys, you can see in the bottom left, I switch to linear keys, and you can tell they're linear but just because they're yellow. The clip is going to look a little off. So now if we go through here, you can see the camera looks pretty robotic now, like it's on a dolly or something. Funny enough, that's exactly how Sessions Replay Editor used to look. There is also constant keys. Now, constant keys are used to get different angles and cut to different cameras. Now, there's also constant keys, and the main purpose of constant keys is to have something happen instantly. So you can use this to get different camera angles. And I'll show you what the constant keys look like. They're identified by a white camera icon keyframe. And when you use these, you're going to notice my clip is just going to cut from one frame to the next. And this can probably give you an idea of how we're going to get those different cuts. So now you should have an understanding of how these controls work. And I've shown you how to do long lens, and I've shown you how to do fisheye. So now I'm going to show you how to get multiple camera angles in the same clip. So let's say my starting off angle is right here still, or right here. I don't remember where it was. It was right here somewhere. We just want to start off with long lens, right? Like, that's how we want the first trick to be long lens. Once we get to that bone front 180, we're going to want it to cut to a different camera. So let's go into montage view. Let's crank this field of view. So we're going to come here. Let's crank this back up so it's not blurry. And then I'm going to go for just one keyframe, so it's not blurry. Awesome. So right here is where I want my camera cut to happen. That's where I want it to go to a different angle. So right here, I'm going to set the field of view at 20. I'm going to go for it a little bit. And then I'm going to set a constant key. I'm going to switch to constant keys. I'm going to set a constant key, and I'm going to bring the field of view back to 100. And now that I've done that, come over here to our camera timeline, and we're going to set a constant key for our camera. But this time, we're going to come over here. Now we set a constant key here, and now we can switch back to our smooth key. Let's actually, I want to move the constant key just a little. Oh wait, I didn't mean to do that. Undo. All right, I want to move the constant key, and you see here the camera, like you can actually see the camera timeline. Like you can see each keyframe, so you can see the cut from up there to down here. You can see all that. It's pretty sick. Now that I have my constant key set and I have the next keyframe I want set, I'm gonna come back here to my constant key. I'm gonna just go for it just a tiny bit. Just go for it a tiny bit and set another smooth key. And now I can continue filming my clip. And now we should have a clip with 2 different cuts. Okay, so to get the camera cut, you come over here, you set your last smooth key for your first angle, you switch to a constant key, move to a new angle, set that constant key, move forward just a tiny bit and set another smooth keyframe, and continue editing your second angle. So if you get an issue where your camera freaks out, just move to the previous key before you switch angles and set that to a linear key and see if that works. I'm gonna set this back to smooth. So now you see how it's freaking out here when I have it set to smooth? I don't know why it does that, but I know how to fix it. So we're gonna set a linear key and that's gonna fix that. And that's how you get 2 different angles. One last trick here we can try is a first person clip. So all we want to do is just come inside her head here and set a key there. Well, that's a linear key. Set a smooth key there. All right, you pretty much just want to do this in montage view. So pretty much just keep the camera in your skater's head. I don't know why it twisted around like that. So really, it's just a very tedious process of putting eyes in your character's head. All right, we're gonna cut it there. Now we could just clean this up. Let's go through and clean this up. So you can see it's starting to look somewhat correct. All right, I set my FOV to 110. All right, right there, we can see inside her body. So here is our first person clip. So all you want to do is just keep the camera inside her face the whole time. That's essentially what's happening here. Is all I'm trying to do is keep the camera inside her head. That's literally all I'm doing. So now when we look at it, that's it for this tutorial, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to subscribe. It helps out a lot. Share this video, show people. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bells on. Join me for Twitch streams. I'll see you guys on the next video. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace.